Well, heading towards the budget, one of the areas that is not often talked about is sports and the allocation of funds towards the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. Now, if we look at the allocation of the past few years, we might know what to expect come Feb 1. So, if we look at the past 3 years, the allocation has been hovering around the 2500 to 2800 CR range, or 0.5 to 0.10% of the total budget. Now, as we all know, Tokyo Olympics was already scheduled to be held in 2020, and budget allocated during that year was around 2800 CR. But after the pandemic struck and the sporting events across the world came to standstill, the budget was revised to 1800 CR for the year. Even when India has participated in major events like Commonwealth Games or the Olympics, the range has been the same. With Winter Olympics, Asian Games, Commonwealth Games, Women's Hockey World Cup and more scheduled for this year, we can expect the budget to hover around in the same range. Now, Khelo India, a scheme that looks for talent at the grassroots levels of the country, takes a huge chunk of the budget. Looking at the previous 3 years, the scheme has seen a gradual increase in its allocation. Of course, the pandemic year is an exception, but before the budget for 2020 was revised, Khelo India was allocated a whooping amount of 890 CR. It's too early to call it a success, but we can say that it is a step in the right direction, with athletes such as Saurabh Chaudhary, Anshu Malik, Ankita Dhyani, Shri Hari Nataraj and Mehlu Ghosh being beneficiary of this scheme. So come Feb 1, you can expect the upward trend to continue. Now, there are many autonomous bodies that take care of infrastructure, conducting games, camps and more. And out of these, Sports Authority of India gets the most amount allocated. And this one is an exception even in 2020, where the revised amount was increased. Going forward, we can accept this trend to continue, as the government will look to improve infrastructure quality, conduct more competitions and camps with an eye on the major events of the year, and of course, with the long-term view, keeping in mind the 2024 Olympics. Another scheme that needs to be looked at is Target Olympic Podium Scheme, which is focused on providing assistance to medal prospects. Shooting in this scheme has seen the highest allocation thus far. While this scheme has been praised by the likes of Mary Kom and Neeraj Chopra, there is a need for a more proactive approach here. For example, Aditya Shok came close to winning a medal at the Tokyo Olympics, but she wasn't included in the scheme. But now she is, which kind of shows that you need to reach a certain level and talent detection needs to improve. So all in all, it is exciting times for sports in India, and we'll have to see what the budget brings to the table come Feb 1.